This is my first time seeing this thing in the light. I will say, it is really cool. So here's ZJ for comparison. And here's one of these 40s. I was trying to size it up last night. Hold on. Yeah, I was trying to size it up and see if I could make this work. So that's about dead center, right there. And that would push it there. And so I'd have to cut some of this corner out, which, I mean, I guess ain't that big a deal. Because there's, like, that's not my floorboard on the other side right there. There's a little bit of gap. So I could probably clearance this out. But the other problem is, I'd have to cut to right here just to put it in. And I'd have to cut more out, that height, just to put it back in there. And I would have to do all this to have any sort of up travel at all. And even if I stretched it 2 inches forward, which would be about that, I'm gonna be hitting that, which I guess isn't that big a deal, because normally this whole little section is where the charcoal canister is, but mine got knocked off. So I actually don't know what's right there. I think it's just wiring for the headlights. On the other side, I do have the battery that'd be in the way though, because if we go about even, it's more, there's more clearance here. But yeah, the battery's like here, so it's probably sitting right here. So I bet I could clearance, that might be the bottom of the battery. So I'd have to move the battery somewhere. That wouldn't be that big a deal, I don't feel like. But I don't know, maybe 40's coming up soon. But the long-awaited XJ. This will be my first time with anything on Boggers. We've got one friend in the group that's got 33 Boggers. But yeah, these are 35 by 16 or 16 and a half. Let me look. Yeah, TSL Boggers. They're by 14 and a half. He was wrong. Okay. That's a little more doable for the ZJ. But yeah, they're spaced out. The lugs are hand tight on, so God, I hope he didn't drive far on them. Glad I noticed that. But, yeah, and it's got a steering leak, which, I don't know, so every Jeep has these. But yeah, you can see that's wet, which means, yeah, that's wet. Okay, so it does have a steering leak, and then, that little switch controls the fan. And he's got another one in there that controls, oh man, this seat's falling apart, hold on. That seat has no cushion, I just sat straight on. Oh, it's not that it has no cushion, it's that it's falling out the bottom of the frame. Okay. All right. Yeah, there's our upper control arm link that we see through the floor. Okay, yeah, this seat's not connected to anything. All right. All right. Yeah, this is my view. This is where the seat falls back into. I've never seen a horn on the side like that. That's weird. But yeah, so it is in park. But yeah, auto trans, which isn't what I wanted, but it's what we ended up with. This down here, that's our light bar. He just installed a brand new light bar. It's got random bolts for transmission, linkage, all sorts of stuff in there. Again, they just cut every wire right there. That might have been for the door, but somebody along the way has signed every Devin driver. That was not who I bought it from. And then that was Chris's spot. And this was Big Daddy's spot in the middle there. So I was looking at these door frames. And these have been welded on and then painted. What in the world? So the plan to eventually put doors on is probably not gonna happen. Let's see. Yeah, 6.5 inch lift. It is a long arm, which is a step above what I currently have, but not what I would like. Is that not hit? They didn't cut the factory mounts off. They didn't even cut the factory links out. That link is still right there. They just cut it. Like, they took the bolt off, couldn't get the bolt out, and they're like, screw it, just throw it on there anyway. And then the rear is leaf spring. But, yeah, they cut on there. I don't know. Seemed like it should have a shock to it. Normally, I don't know, with the truck leaf springs, there's the shocks that also go to the axle, even in the back where the leaf springs are. But yeah, there are no shocks. That's a Dana 35, which absolutely sucks. I don't know how. What's leaking is another thing. We'll address that in a second. I don't know how he blew the transmission before he blew a 35 or the front to 30. I know people swear that the 30 is stronger than a lot, but even still, like, he's still got the 35 in the rear. I don't know why this is wet, but it's wet all the way up there, so that means something in the back. Let's look. Yeah, that's also rusted through. So, let's see. Oh, I think trans is leaking, possibly. What is this? I don't know. There's a water bottle. Everything is soaked back here. Everything. More holes. They at least put a plate here. Which to me means underneath the gas tank is absolutely shot. Oh, they ripped off one of these trying to pull on it, and it just was rusted through. I ain't gonna lie, this is a little bit of a piece. Yeah, so here's the transmission and the T-case. I don't know what that goes to. He said it was something with the transmission. Made me kind of think that it wasn't electronic and it was one of those pressure ones. No, this is hosed to the T-case. I guess it's a breather. But, okay. All interesting. Oh, somebody drew a little smiley face on the back of that seat. Look how much lower the driver's seat sits than the passenger. That's what I was saying when I sat down on it and it just like fell through. What in the world have I gotten myself into? I don't know what these wires are. That doesn't look like anything to me. They're just under the seat. Rear drive shaft. Second rear drive shaft. Okay. He's got a new starter. Random assortment of bolts. She's got 2 torque converters. He said one of them's burnt, and you can smell it. That's the Rusty's front cross member. This is, I think, the factory cross member. Okay. Nothing down in there. Alright. Okay. It's something. It's something. Yeah, these are also hand tight. So he just, what the heck? Okay. So I have 2 front drive shafts, I think, and 2 rears. No, I just have 2 rears. Okay. trying to see what all I'm working with here, but it's big. Yeah. Okay. Random plug-in for LEDs, maybe? On multicolor LED strip. Yep. And there's the LED strip with it. Haha. Okay. Yeah, the headliner's separated from itself. A lot of rust. A lot of rust. So probably worth a little bit less than I initially thought with the transmission back in it. But okay. Yeah, hand tight. Hand tight. Nothing else. I don't know. I've got to get money out of it for the long arm for a 4-link on ZJ, but it'll be fun to play around with while I've got it. Yeah, what in the world is that? That looks custom. Those are two angles that they've just put to mount that link in there. What in the world? That's a factory link, I think. I don't think that's one of Rusty's. Because Rusty's are those big tubes. I think that they have Rusty's lower on that side. And then this one, I think it's just a factory arm that they put a self-clearancing. Oh my gosh, I think I see what they've done. Yeah, so the factory one didn't go all the way there. So they got some angle iron, cut it with a plasma cutter in the back, and then just used that to lengthen it out. Oh my God. Got lights hanging down. But, so this one used to be green, and now it's tan. And the one over there is now green. But I was telling him I'm kind of just collecting all the Army Jeep colors, I guess. But, yeah, this one at least does have a muffler. Rubs on the link, on the lower links. But, yeah, it's going to be a lot of work. A lot more work than I originally thought. And the unibody looks good, so that's at least something. But yeah, okay. Random hoses right there. Some of them aren't connected to anything. But okay, got a lot more work than I thought coming up. But we'll make this work. Get this. I think it's gonna be a flip, not a build it into what I want. But if nothing else, I'll get some cool tires out of it. But yeah, here's the Iroks. Yeah, they're, let's see, they're 39.5 by 13.5 on a 15. And so I get 15-inch rims. Those are 16, super hard to find anything for. These look like 17s. These are, what the heck? These are also 15s. Okay. So I could put these are a rock ring, not a beadlock. Also, the one over here is missing like almost every single ring on it, but it'll protect the rims, I guess. I don't know. It's leaking something right there. That's got color to it. It's out of this torque converter. Okay, that was full of ATF. Okay. But this is gonna be a project for not right now. So, all right, we're gonna have a lot of resheeting going on. You're gonna be seeing apparently a lot more of this as I try to fix it, because there's a lot that's gonna have to be done. But you'll get to learn, and I'll get to learn how to repair a lot of this kind of stuff. And I think the overall plan will be throw the tires from ZJ onto this, keep both sets, and then probably flip this. Eli J, thank you for your contribution. No, that doesn't. Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, I'll say it's gonna be a short-lived thing if I can't get the door, the gas open. But all right. He said the motor's strong. I'm now having second doubts about that. Let's pop the hood. Let's just for popped. It's not okay. I was about to unload this thing and I realized that this came off the bead. It looks like, it doesn't look like there's a blowout anywhere, but it definitely came off the bead. But we made it home, so it's fine, right? All right, now hear me out. I think that might be the plan for right now, because look at the surface area of that is absolutely wild. Even though they're 35s, being 14.5 inches wide or whatever these are, I think they're 14.5. No, they are 16 wide. That's crazy. And they're spaced out more than the others. This goes all the way out to that control arm link. See if it's even there. Versus over here, that's blocked. So it's another probably 1.5 inches outside, and then it's 16 wide. Look at the stance that would have. Half of the tire would be outside the fender well. Now obviously these aren't pointed straight, but like that's ridiculous. This could be really cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just, while it's up there, I'm gonna go ahead and just throw this Moto Claw onto that XJ. All right, I have a name for this now. Military grade, because everything works just well enough to get you to the next place. So we're digging into this more. I was sorting through the bolts and stuff. Started looking at the seat. Those are self-tappers and some of the ugliest welds I've ever seen in my life. And that's what's holding on this seat. It gets better though. So looking at this is the, I don't know, like the seat belt. Not attached. What else was there? Oh, so I think that there definitely were supposed to be shocks that went with this, because if you look at the axle, that's like where you would mount a shock to, and it should go straight up in my opinion. But they don't exist anymore. No rear shocks. I'm almost positive they're supposed to have them. I will say the one thing they did right, these are 2.5. They are in desperate need of new bushings. They're not even on. Okay, didn't realize that, but living up to the name. So these are 2.5 inch shocks, whereas mine are 2 inch. So it's designed to support a lot more weight, and they have this little built-in bump stop at the top, and it's a 17 inch tall tower, and only 6 inches is showing. So in theory, there should be roughly 16 inches, or roughly like 11 inches of down travel, probably like 9-ish, maybe 10-ish inches of down travel that it can go. Whereas on my Jeep, it has that in the front, but in the rear, I only have about 3 inches of down travel, which really sucks. And so I'm probably gonna steal these and swap around. Let's look at that. Yeah, bushing completely split. Just rattles all around. These, it's not bad, but it is bent. They do have bump stops, and they look extended compared to factory. So that's honestly impressive. If you look there, I noticed before how they were super wet. Figured out why. Also, he told me that the battery was dead. No. He had disconnected the battery so that I couldn't start it or anything or check it. And so a little bit sketched about that. It's literally 2 in the morning, and so I don't want to start it or attempt to start it. But this is why my power steering fluid is everywhere. So it's wet all the way up at the cap. When you pull this off, it is filled to the top with this brown fluid, which looks, maybe it's just a reflection. I thought I saw shavings at the top. But so power steering is either burned up, or power steering fluid is either burned up, or something's actually wrong with it, because it should never be that high. I don't know what would cause it to be brown and that high, though. I feel like it'd be like if something was missing, it would drain out, or if it was like water, I think it would turn it more of a pink. So I don't know, because the engine bay looks, it doesn't look like it's been a mud vehicle. But this is the fan relay. You see it cleverly zip tied out of the way. Then this monstrosity, I had the same thing with the ZJ when I bought it, but this is the power cable. You see just the threaded wires just shoved and then pinched right there. We'll say the light bar he put on, that's the only thing I know he did. Oh no, it's just wrapped. I thought that he had done it right, but no, he just wrapped the wire there. But the light bar does work. The other side, he put a clip, which is strange to me. I don't know if red is it or yellow, but they both have like the, at least like the Walmart grade clip, but that side he just wrapped wire around, said, screw it, it'll send. And it did. I will say the light bar did work. I don't know what this is. Blazer, probably just like an eBay something, but he at least was nice enough to throw that in. The other thing, he absolutely knew that it was having issues with the tires, because this one's really low. And if I actually go around, I have to go the other way. If I go around to the ZJ, I'd taken one just at random off, just to throw on there, just to show. And I sent a picture to my buddy, and I'm like, why is it only 31 inches? Well, it's about 27 right now, because it is completely dead flat, which means this thing's either dry rotted or something. Those tires seem to be holding up so well so far, but there's also no weight on them. But I think military grade is going to be kind of pieced off, and then whatever parts I want for the ZJ. I need a name for the ZJ. We got to come up with something, because these stickers also probably need to go. I don't know. I don't feel like the Spartan or something. I don't know. I don't like that, but I got to come up with something for it, because this took all of a day for me to be like, dang. Oh, another thing. Shackles not really bolted to the frame, little at all. So it's wallered that hole out, obviously. What else? Something else I noticed. What was it? Oh, so this long arm kit, I'd pointed out earlier how it went to the middle. Those are Johnny joints, which I'm actually kind of surprised and proud of, because like you can see in there, you can see they're probably super old and messed up and probably need to be replaced. Let's see if there's any play. Very little. Like, I'm putting decent amount of force into that. Those arms are, so I looked it up on Iron Rock. They don't sell that kit anymore, but I'm trying to talk to one of their like people to see what it is, if I can get a new upper arm, just because even just selling this is like a crappy like like give me $3,000 or whatever. Like the motor, trans, and whatever, and the body are probably worth that. But if somebody's gonna drive this, I'd hate for them to have that factory arm with whatever that was going on there. So I'm talking to a guy and seeing if I can't get like a used part or something, just to at least have a full lift on this thing. But yeah, so there's a lot going on with this. Those bushings are also shot. Look how small that screw is. There's no way that's not completely wallered out the middle of that. So I'm sure it makes all sorts of great noises going down the road. Very surprised that he ran this on 40s with no steering issues, because this is, the drag link maybe looks bigger, but I don't think it is an upgrade. Ran out of space and had to delete something real quick, but that has no cotter pin. I don't believe this. Oh, this does have a cotter pin. Okay. And this looks like a drop. Also, this is not all the way. Wow, those weren't words. This is not on all the way, because that is not even pinched. So that whole steering is like self-dropped by just not screwing it on all the way. The Pitman arm, I believe it's called. But like, what in the world? And like, that's not even like, the guy I bought this thing from, like, he didn't know. Truth be told, like, I truthfully don't think he knew how bad a shape this thing was in. I think that he saw it as a really cool deal that he could get, and just kind of like make it last for a little bit. And it was on 40s at the time, and he tried to do right by downsizing to 35s, but then he kind of like probably got screwed on the deal. I know that he drove like 3 hours each way to get these tires and wheels at one point, but then he just kind of, I don't know, he thought that these were beadlocks when he bought them as well, so I do feel bad for him on that. But he also made it seem like they were beadlocks when I drove 4 hours to come get it, and then obviously aired up that one tire and this one, because within a day that one's dead flat and this one's lost probably 10 pounds of pressure. The other two seem to be okay, and like you can see a huge difference. Like that looks giant versus that one over there that was on the ground. But man, just more and more problems the more I actually like dive into this thing. Rust everywhere, like everything's just kind of like been set out to dry and whatever else. And this, at least, this is an aftermarket pan. Let's look how bad it is under. I can't tell, but they at least tried right there to put a new floor pan in. Let's see how, just look underneath. I can't tell, but you can see that little panel's eaten through. Yeah, where this is supposed to be a drain right there, I believe, it's completely blocked right there. You can kind of see, yeah, that's like holes all throughout this. I really don't want to just get tetanus by shoving my finger through it, but yeah, just like little things like this, like didn't even attempt to put a screw back there, just like, let's just weld it like right there to the frame. That's fine. Why do something when you cannot? But it's getting to be a little bit worse and worse of a deal the more I actually dig into this thing, but keeping positive. I don't know how long that kid acted like he didn't have it more than like a few months, and then he blew the trans, which I'm surprised. Like, I'm surprised it made it as long as it did with the transmission. But yeah, like holes like that. Yeah, they replaced this. This is aftermarket sheet metal too. You can see this one at least has a bolt in the seat. Let's look in the rear. That's bent to, like, that's crazy bent. And that side's bolted to the frame rail. Let's see if the frame rail is bolted to the floor. It is. That's one of the craziest finds I've had all day. Yeah, I just reached through, and right here, kind of at the corner, you can see the tack welds. They also covered wires, but they just kind of like, that's a bolt. Okay, that's like the smallest tack weld I've ever seen in my life. Like this, I bet that doesn't even hold. They just burned, yeah, they just burned straight through this metal. It barely holds at all. But, what thickness is that? That's like micro thickness. I feel like it should be thicker than that. But they pinched wires underneath it. Oh. Yeah, like I can't get that out from underneath it because, oh, also, you can push right through these holes. I'm gonna push, oh no, not that one. Which one is it? It's this one, I think. I don't know. There was one of these, like I can make the whole thing bounce from the bottom because it's completely just rusted through the frame. Oh, look at that. I guarantee, oh yeah, that whole thing is just aftermarket. Just, that's crazy. They at least tried to do something about rust in some places, but, and like the unibody itself looks like the unibody's good. Oh, it's missing a bolt in the cross member. Doesn't look like they even, I'll bet they broke that bolt off. No, that's crazy. I can't even. Let's look at the other side, because that's crazy. The thing holding up the whole front end is this cross member. Oh, that one's not even in all the way, and that one's gone. If it, that one never lined up at all. That's so crazy. How in the world did they actually like run this? Like this Jeep was used. People drove this probably on the street. Hold on, I think I hear the leak. Either the tire's cut right there. No, it's that. That crack right there is where air's leaking out.